Welcome everyone. This is Amanda coming to you from Native Yoga, my wonderful home studio that I love so much. We miss you all. Coming to bring you another gentle practice that will be good for any level of yoga. Get our bodies moving, quiet the mind, and focus within. So to begin our practice today, we're going to start in Shavasana. So we're going to start laying on our back. Making yourself as comfortable as you can. Arms can be at your side or resting on your belly. Legs can be extended, or if it feels better, having them bent. And taking a moment here to close the eyes, begin our practice by becoming aware of our breath. Taking this time to witness the breath. The gentle rise and fall of the belly or the abdomen. Or the chest. Maybe the way the air feels coming in and out of the nostrils or the mouth. Taking this time to try to put aside what's already happened today and what may need to happen later. And just know in your heart that you are exactly where you are meant to be in this moment. Continuing that focused awareness of the breath. Not trying to change it, just being with it. And our intention for today's practice, or our focus, is going to be sending out positive energy. So this is a very uncertain time for a lot of us, a lot of changes in our lives. And this is a great time to send the energy that we are building up with this practice out into the world, spreading positivity and love. I will seal this intention for us with one Om. So staying with your breath for another few moments. Just feeling sensations that you feel. And when you feel ready, excuse me, we're going to slowly blink the eyes open. And we're going to begin with a nice full body stretch. So arms are going to reach high above our head. Legs are going to extend out. We're reaching through those fingers, pointing through those toes, feeling extension, feeling that length through the body. Nice deep breaths, not holding the breath. And then releasing the rigidity of that stretch, but keeping the arms above the head. We're going to reach through our right fingers and point through our left toes. So feeling that opposition in the body, pointing through the right fingers Reaching through the left toes and then switching. So reaching through the left fingers, then pointing through the right toes. And one more time on each side. So reaching through the right fingers, pointing through those left toes, feeling that nice stretch across the body. And then back, reaching through the left fingers, pointing through those right toes. Feeling that length. And then bringing the arms to your side or wherever's comfortable. If they're more comfortable resting on your belly, whatever feels good for you in this moment. And we're going to begin by just bringing our right knee in towards our chest. So if this is as far as we go today, that's okay. Maybe you want to reach and hug that knee in. Maybe you want to take your hands behind the thigh to help the knee in. Just making sure that the back is relaxed on your mat, that you're not reaching or crunching through the neck to try to reach that knee. We're just getting a nice little stretch, maybe pointing and flexing the toes, doing some ankle rotations if that feels good for you, going in both directions. And then extending that leg out long, bringing the left leg into you. Again, meeting your body where it's at today. So whether it's here, here, or here, or maybe at home if you have a strap or a blanket, you could put it around your foot to help you bring it in. So just taking a moment here, again, checking in that we are keeping the neck and extension of the spine, that we aren't crunching or overcompensating the opposite way. Keeping a nice healthy length. And then again, pointing and flexing those toes. And then ankle rotations. Make a couple in each direction. And then bringing the right knee in to meet that left. If it feels good, maybe rocking gently from side to side, giving a little massage to your lower back. And then resting your feet gently down on the mat, keeping the knees bent. We want to make sure here that our back has a nice connection with the mat. So sometimes we have a tendency to have an arch in our back. So the middle part or towards the lower part of your back may not be touching your mat. So a nice thing to do is slightly tilt that pelvis up. So I'm exaggerating that movement right now so that you can see what area of my body I'm moving. So if we're here, it's a movement that looks like that. So you're going to feel your abs engage. Your back should now be touching the entire mat. And that's just going to keep your back really safe for any movements that we're going to do in this position. So starting here, we're going to start into a figure four. We're going to cross our right leg over, resting it on the left thigh. Keeping the foot flexed if that's comfortable for you. And from here, deciding if you'd like a little extra resistance in this stretch. Maybe placing the palm of your hand against that right thigh and pressing that away from you in space. So I like to keep my opposite hand on my hip as a nice reminder to keep that hip point down. Sometimes it wants to lift off the ground. So we want to keep that down. Getting that nice stretch to the right hip. Taking some nice, deep, full breaths. here, if you are using your hand, just relaxing that hand down. And we're going to stay in this form, but we're going to lower this to the left. So if you can, your foot can come to the ground, hips can come off of the mat. Just getting a nice spinal twist here and a nice stretch through the side of the thigh. If your foot doesn't come to the ground, maybe it's here. Maybe you want to put a pillow, or if you have a block at home, or anything that you have at home that could support that is probably a good idea. So just resting here, feeling that stretch, feeling the muscles lengthen. And then when we make our way back up, we don't want to hurt our back, so we're going to use our core muscles. We're going to engage that core, and maybe even use your hands to help push you back up so that we're not using our back to help us come up. So from here, we're going to uncross that right leg, moving to the opposite side, so crossing the left. And I invite you to take a moment here to just witness the two sides of your body. So I know that this side of my body is a lot tighter than the other. I'm not judging that in this moment. I'm just witnessing it. And that is part of yoga, witnessing ourselves, our physical body, our mental body, and just being with ourselves, being with whatever it is that is happening, what we're feeling, what's going on in that moment, being with that. So if this side of your body is different than the other, that's okay. And knowing that that's okay. And just witnessing that. So again, deciding maybe the side you want that palm of the hand, or perhaps the side you don't want the palm of the hand, and your hands are just going to rest down to the side. So again, nice full breaths, getting that oxygen flow into all these beautiful muscles, helping them to lengthen and relax. And then again, if you are using your hand, just gently relaxing that down to the side. And then lowering the whole form to the right this time. So again, if your foot doesn't come all the way comfortably to the floor, using something to prop it that it can rest on, so that you're not straining and stretching beyond the point of comfort or safety. And then again, remembering when we come up, we're going to engage those abs, those core muscles, and possibly use our hands to help us come back up so that we're staying extra safe. And then we're going to relax both feet onto the mat. Coming into windshield wipers. So just like the windshield wipers on your car, both knees are going to fall gently to one side. Since it's the beginning of our practice still, I ask that we don't go too far, trying to keep it so that our hips aren't coming too far off of the mat. Just getting some nice, gentle movement. And then again, coming back into center. From here, we're going to turn over, coming into tabletop position on our hands and our knees. So setting up our foundation first. Hands are in line with the shoulders or slightly in front of. We don't want to have them behind the shoulders because then we're putting extra strain on that shoulder. Knees are in line with the hips or again, slightly behind, but never in front of that alignment. So we're going to take a moment and set yourself up. Bottom, tops of the feet are resting firm on the mat, coming into a nice tabletop position. So we want our back to be as straight as possible. The neck is an extension of the spine. So gaze is down, maybe to the top middle of your mat. Pressing strong through your hands. Taking a couple breaths here. And then making our way into cat-cow. Beginning in cow, we're going to tilt that tailbone towards the ceiling. Belly comes down to the mat and chest comes forward. Transitioning to cat, tailbone tucks, back arches towards the sky, and chin comes towards the chest. And now moving at your own pace between the two, getting some nice movement in the spine. We're going to do one more set. And meeting back in that neutral tabletop position, we're going to gently look towards our right foot and look towards our left. Getting a nice stretch through the side. And then coming down onto our forearms, clasping our hands together, and lowering our chest towards the mat. So a nice heart opener, chest lowers towards the mat. Maybe rest your chin on the mat, maybe your forehead, hips are high. Feeling a nice stretch through the shoulders and the back. And then slowly making your way back into that tabletop position. We're going to extend the right leg out behind us. And we're going to be on our toes. We're going to start rocking forward and back. Getting a nice stretch through that leg, stretching those toes. And then coming to stillness. And then releasing that knee back down. If your wrists are getting tired, you have the option of coming to fists. And if that isn't working for you, you can always come down back to this position. So maybe we're here and we're rocking. Getting that nice stretch through the leg and the toes. Or if you're up here. And then holding the stretch. And bringing that knee gently in. We're going to bring our big toes together, taking our knees as wide as the mat. Coming into child's pose. So we're going to sit back. Again, chest lowers towards the mat. Arms extend out. Maybe resting the forehead on the mat. And taking the moment here to reconnect with that breath and reconnect with our intention of sending that positive energy out into this world. From here, we're going to gently make our way to sitting back on our feet, if that's comfortable for you. And making our way to standing, so doing this transition at our own pace, however that's comfortable for you. If you need to pause the video, doing so. So we will all meet in a standing position on our mat. So starting in a nice strong mountain pose. So feet are about hip distance apart. Starting from our feet up, we're going to build into this pose. So first thing we're going to do is we have a tendency when things get unbalanced, we have a tendency to grasp. So a lot of times we grasp with our toes. So we're just going to really lift those toes as high as you comfortably can off of that mat, and then gently setting them back down. We're going to engage the thighs, which is going to automatically help us stand a little bit taller. And take those shoulders nice and high towards the ears, rolling them down and back. Chest is shining proud, sending that positivity out into the world. And maybe tucking that tailbone slightly. So see, it's a very small movement to protect that lower back. If you feel comfortable to do so, closing in with that body, feeling the strength, feeling the support of the mat and the ground beneath you. Again, shining that heart forward, sending that positivity out into this world. And then gently releasing that down, blinking your eyes open if they were closed. We're going to start with just a very gentle heart opener. I know I am guilty of this. I feel like I've been looking at my phone more since we've kind of been in this new situation. So I feel a little extra tightness through my neck and my shoulders. So we're going to work on kind of opening that space a little too, helping us to shine that positivity out into this world that needs it so much right now. So the first thing that we're going to do is take our hands and clasp them behind our backs. So if that's not comfortable, if that's a little too intense for you, we can take them to our sides, or just placing them anywhere that's comfortable for you on the back. So I'm going to take mine and clasp them together, starting standing with a nice lengthened spine. And I'm going to take and roll these shoulders back, and my hands lower a little bit already. So my heart is already opening a little bit. And what I'm going to do next, if you're comfortable, you can stay here, or you can begin to slowly gaze at the ceiling, letting the arms relax down, opening that chest. Remembering to take nice full breaths here. And then slowly coming up into standing. From here, I'm going to keep my hands clasped. You have the option again of moving them to any of the positions that I said. And I'm going to come into a forward fold. And if you're comfortable, maybe you stay here. Maybe you bring those arms just a little bit. Or maybe they come as far as is comfortable for you. Getting that nice stretch, shoulder blades trending together. Bringing the arms slowly back towards the body, and then gently making our way back up to standing. Releasing those arms down, maybe giving them a nice little shake. Maybe you feel like some rotations. Whatever feels good for your body in this moment. So the next move we're going to do is again stretching through those shoulders. So I'm trying not to use props in case people don't have props to use at home. So usually we would come into a variation called cow face arms. And we're going to do a different variation of that today. So we're going to start with our right arm. We're going to raise it up nice and high. Not sure if you can see my fingers, but they're just extended towards the ceiling. And I'm going to bend my arm at the elbow so that it's nice and close to my head. Now this might not be where everyone can get. It might be out here today. You might be feeling really, really tight, and that's okay. But just trying to have that sensation of trying to keep it as close as you can towards the head. And I'm going to turn around so you can see my hand is just resting on my back. So from here, we're going to take our opposite hand, placing it on the elbow, maybe giving a little extra resistance. So maybe your hand can walk a little further down at this point, down your back. Taking some nice full breaths. Standing up nice and tall. Trying not to slouch down into this stretch. It's going to take away from some of the benefit. And then to release, we're just going to open our arms nice and wide. Again, taking any movements that feel good to you right now. And then doing the same on the opposite. So taking the left hand this time, I'm going to raise it nice and high, and then bending at the elbow. Again, taking a moment to realize, to witness, if maybe this side of your body feels different than the other, and just being a witness of that. So starting, seeing how close that elbow can be to the face, bringing that opposite hand to help maybe bring that elbow a little bit closer so it's a little more into a straight line. Again, my hand is relaxing down on my back. So standing nice and tall, we're not crunching down into this stretch, we're keeping that length through the body, feeling a nice stretch through the triceps, and feel it through my back. And then again, releasing down. So let's take that right arm across the body. Left hand can come wherever is comfortable. So if you're comfortable coming all the way to elbow to elbow, and then stretching, getting a nice stretch through the outside of the shoulder. Just you control the intensity here. So fingers are spread wide, allowing energy to flow. Opening those arms nice and wide, then bringing the left arm across the body, and same thing. So maybe if it's only comfortable to do a hand, that's great. Then use the hand, that's perfect. Just again, keeping those fingers nice and open. So wherever you are today, and then opening those arms nice and wide. So coming into a balanced pose, bring our focus maybe out of our heads a little bit for even just a moment. Coming into tree pose. So finding our foundation. I like to have my feet about hip distance apart, making sure my feet are parallel. So both of your feet are pointed in the same direction. It's going to help with your hip alignment. And then starting, bringing the hands in front of the heart center in prayer position. We're going to find a drishti or a focal point that's going to help us with our balance. So taking a moment now to find that point that you want to keep your eyes focused on. When you're ready, we're going to come to the tippy toes of the right foot. Staying here for just a moment. When you're ready, rotating that foot so it is up against the opposite leg. Knee is trending out to the side. And maybe this is where we stay today, and knowing that that is okay. If you'd like to try to go further, you can bring the foot to the inside of the calf or the inside of the thigh. Just making sure we are not resting that foot on that knee. We need to keep that knee joint safe. Breathing, knowing that all of these little shakes are wonderful. They're building those muscles. And then stepping gently out of the pose, taking any movements that feel good to your body. Preparing for the other side. So again, standing, legs are hip distance apart, feet are parallel. Finding that focal point that you would like to focus on to help with your balance. Bringing the hands in front of the heart center in prayer position. And coming up onto the toes of the left foot this time. Transitioning that foot so that it is up against the right leg. And again, taking a moment here to see if this is our treat for today. And knowing that if it is, that's fantastic. If you'd like to try to go further, maybe bringing that foot to the inside of the right calf or the inside of the right thigh. Again, remembering that it's okay that you shake, and it's okay if we fall out of the pose. Say we come out of the pose, then we're just going to reset from beginning, coming to those tippy toes, rotating that foot, and then deciding if we'd like to go higher. So gently stepping out of that pose. Coming into balancing star. So another balancing pose to kind of bring us into this moment, bring us into our focus. So starting with hip feet a little bit wider than hip distance apart. Arms are going to start out to the side. So right now we are in 5-point star. So to balance, to make it a balancing pose, we are going to move. So we're going to first make sure that our shoulders are relaxed down away from our ears. We're going to find that focal point again. So it can be the same one or a different one. Keeping our eyes on it. We're going to begin to lean to the left, coming up on our right tippy toes. So staying here for a moment, seeing if this is enough of a balance pose for us today. If you'd like to go further, raising that leg off of the ground, or maybe coming and tapping. So 3 variations. You can keep the foot down on the tippy toes, you can tap, or you can keep that foot up. Trying not to grasp with the left toes, and then gently lowering down out of the pose. Again, any movements that you like. I know some people in my class more like to do this. Feels good, you should try it. And then moving into the other side. So again, finding that stance that's comfortable for you today. So maybe feet are a little bit wider than hip distance. Arms are gonna come straight out to a T, making sure we have relaxed shoulders. And when you feel ready, finding that focal point, coming up onto the tippy toes of that left foot this time. And then seeing if you'd like to try to come higher, either with the tap in or keeping that foot lifted. Again, trying not to grasp with the right toes. I was totally just doing that. Breathing, and then lowering down slowly. So coming into elephant pose from that. Feet are about hip distance apart, making sure that we always have them parallel for that alignment of the hips. So I'm going to walk you through what it looks like first. I'm going to turn to the side. And then we'll do it together, matching our breath. So our inhale, I'm actually going to do kind of catty corner. So our inhale is going to be cactus arms, except elbows are going to come back in space. So when we move those elbows back, we feel a bit more of a stretch through the front. So this is our inhale pose. When we exhale, our forearms, palms and forearms are going to come together, and we're going to forward fold, inhale, coming back up into that nice inhale position. So we have that contrast, we have that heart opening and just that lovely, just opening and wonderfulness. And we have also that lovely contraction, because both are needed in life to equal balance. So, starting in our inhale position, elbows back, take a nice deep inhale, exhale, palms, forearms together, folding forward, inhale, coming up, opening those arms, chest is shining forward, so proud. Exhale, palms and forearms together, forward fold. Inhale, coming up, shining that positivity out into this world. Exhale, coming down. Inhale, nice, proud, shining chest. And one more set, exhaling down. Inhaling, back up to standing. Elbows back, and then releasing all of that down. So before we make our way back to the mat, we're going to do a little bending and twisting. So we're going to start by, again, making sure those feet are parallel. So making sure that they're both pointed in the same direction. And we want to try to keep our hip points facing forward. So what we're going to do actually is put our hands on our hips as a reminder. Excuse me, allergies. And we are going to begin to twist to the right. So we want the twist to come from our waist, trying to keep the hips pointing forward. So we're going to inhale for some length, exhale, begin that twist. So it might not be as deep as you normally go, because sometimes we tend to turn our whole body. But this time we're actually going to keep those hips forward, getting that nice twist in the waist, coming back in through center, inhaling for length, exhaling to the left. And you'll find your hips kind of want to follow you. So it's a nice change to kind of remind ourselves to keep them forward. And then coming back into center, we're going to bring both arms high. Again, if you can't see my fingers, they're just extended towards the ceiling. And we're going to come into a right side bend. So we're just gonna bring our right hand down towards our leg, maybe using it to slide down the leg, reaching into that bend, trying to keep the head nice and centered. So we don't want it to be falling down or trying to hold it up. So getting that nice extension and coming up, both hands high, inhaling for some length, exhaling, the left hand comes down, and we begin moving into that twist, that bend, excuse me. So again, only as far as is comfortable for you today. And then coming back up, both arms high. Coming down, we're going to come into a bear hug. So today with social distancing, you know, we can't hug people maybe like we used to. Some of us are huggers. Hello, I'm a hugger. Hi, all you huggers. I love you. I'll give you a big hug. So we're going to give ourselves a nice big hug. So we're going to start with the right hand underneath, the left hand on top. And I'm going to turn around. So my hands right now are resting on my shoulder blades. When we come into the stretch, we're going to gently lift our elbows and lower our chin. And then relaxing that down, opening the arms wide, getting that nice chest opener, allowing that positivity to just shine out from our hearts, out into this world. And this time the left arm is going to come underneath, the right arm is going to come on top. So giving ourselves a nice hug again. So raising those elbows, lowering the chin. And then again, coming into that nice opening, shining that love, shining proud, and then relaxing those arms down. That is a variation of crow arms. I'm sorry, not crow, excuse me, eagle arms. We're going to come into another variation of eagle arms. This is a really nice stretch for, I tend to feel it in the middle of my shoulders and up into my neck. So I call this super prayer arms. So we kind of did this in planking, elephant pose. So we're going to bring our palms and our forearms together. And what we're going to do from here is try to lift them in line with the shoulders. So we don't want our hands to be coming in, we want to keep them nice and straight. And this may be intense for some people. So listening to your body. If you'd like to go a little bit deeper, raising those elbows a little higher and lowering the chin down to the chest. Nice full breath. You can see I'm shaking. Those muscles are working. And then relaxing those down, maybe giving a nice little shake. So making our way back down to the mat, we're going to come into a forward fold. So if this isn't something that you're not comfortable with today, then please feel free to make your way however you would like to down to the mat, to sitting on your bottom. So in our forward fold, we're going to start with our hands on our hips, reminding us that we're going to be hinging from the hips. Beginning to fold forward at the hips, coming down. And for those of us who maybe can't reach the mat, resting the hands maybe on the thighs, resting them on the calves, Or if you can come down to the mat, feeling free to come into whichever level you are comfortable with. Starting with a nice flat back to the spine, looking down, and then rounding down into the stretch. And then from here, if you're using this as a transition, we're going to gently come down on one knee, then the other, and then coming to sit on our bottoms in round angle. So bringing the bottoms of our feet together, remembering the closer we bring those feet to the body, the more intense of a stretch it's going to be. So finding where it's comfortable for you today. And we first want to start with a nice lengthened back. So even if it's at an angle, we want to keep that length. We're not rounding down yet. So you can keep your hands wherever you need to help you have that nice length through the back. Spine is tall, extending through the head. If you can lean forward and hold on to the feet gently and still keep that length, please feel free to do so. So staying here for a few moments, I invite you to close your eyes if that's something that you're comfortable with. Allowing gravity to do the work for us here. Opening the hips. Maybe taking a moment here to check in with ourselves. How are we doing? How are you doing? Are you staying safe? Are you staying positive as possible? Because it's not easy right now. But knowing that we're not alone, we're all in this together. So taking a moment to check in with yourself and make sure that you're taking care of yourself. And then when you feel ready, you can round into this stretch now. So maybe bending the elbows, rounding the back, chin may come down towards the chest. And again, maybe shifting the focus now to that positive energy that we're sending out from our practice today into the world. And gently coming back up to sitting. And we're going to gently flap those butterfly wings, getting those legs moving, oxygen to all these lovely muscles we just stretched. And coming into a seated forward fold, we're going to extend both of our legs out. Feet are flexed. If that's too intense, feel free to relax them down. We're going to start by maybe shifting some of that skin from our bottoms so that we're sitting nice and tall on our sits bones. And we're going to start with our hands down at our sides, nice tall spine. Inhaling for length, hinging from the hips, we're going to begin to walk forward. So staying with that lengthened spine right now. Taking a few breaths here. And then maybe taking another nice inhale, seeing if there's any more length, and walking out any bit further. This time, allowing your back to round, maybe placing a slight bend in your knees if you have tight hamstrings or hips. Again, keeping with that nice full inhales and exhales. And then using your hands to help you walk back up to spinning. From here, we're going to make our way back to where we started, lying down on our backs. So taking a minute to get yourself comfy, fixing your pants or your clothes, whatever you need. And we're going to take just a minute to allow our backs to adjust to being back on the ground. Maybe taking a scan of your body, starting with your head and working your way down to your toes, checking for any excess tension or tightness. And I brought my blanket from home because I know with my neck, I need a little bit more support. So taking this time to show yourself love by giving you that support, giving yourself any extra support you may need during your practice. Knowing that props and anything that helps you through your practice are just wonderful items. They're lovely things. They aren't an inability to do something. They don't make you better at practicing yoga. That wasn't proper English. But they're just wonderful tools to help us. So not being afraid to listen to what our bodies need in the moment. And from here, bending those knees so the feet are back flat on the mat. Checking how I said at the beginning that our back is touching the mat at all points. So checking if you need to maybe tilt that tailbone slightly so that your whole back is supported by the mat. Coming back into that figure four that we started with, we're going to cross the right foot over, deciding if you'd like that extra bit of resistance. Maybe taking a moment here to see if you feel different now than you did at the beginning of your practice, both physically and mentally. And then lowering the hand down, lowering the whole form to the left. Engaging that core, using your hands if need be to help yourself back up to center. Uncrossing that leg, crossing the left leg. Deciding if you'd like that hand with a little bit of extra resistance in that stretch. Lowering that hand down to the side, lowering the form towards the right. And then engaging that core, maybe the hands coming back up into center, uncrossing that leg, coming back into that windshield wiper movement, but this time feeling free to make it really sloppy. So hips can come off of the mat if that's comfortable. whatever feels good. I do invite you, if you feel a point of tension, as I do right here, I'm going to stop for a moment, take a breath or two. Sending that oxygen down to that muscle, visualizing that, and then continuing with my movement. So if you find any points of tension, maybe stopping for a moment, visualizing the breath, going to that muscle to help you release. And then coming back into center. We're going to bring both knees in towards the chest. Again, however is comfortable for you. Rocking gently, side to side. And then gently resting the feet down onto the mat. Moving into a breathing practice, I invite you to place your right hand on your heart and your left hand on your belly. We are going to begin with focused natural breathing. So just feeling the sensations of our breath, the rise and the fall, the belly or the chest, the way the air feels flowing in and out. Knowing that if your mind starts to wander, that's completely natural. And trying to refocus your mind back to the breath. Staying with those sensations of our breath, adding in our intention of sending that positivity out into the world that we have created with our practice. Maybe visualizing your heart filling with love and positivity. Becomes so full that it automatically overflows into the world. Gently releasing the breathing practice and any control that you may have had over your thoughts or your breath. And making our way into Shavasana, our final resting pose for the practice. So extending the legs out, arms to the side, getting as comfortable as you possibly can. Closing the eyes when you feel ready. I would like to read a quote to you today from Journey to the Heart by Melody Betty. People are energy. Thoughts are energy. Part of loving ourselves is not ingesting toxins. Negative energy is toxic. Don't stress others out by sending negative energy to them. Learn to tell when negative energy is stressing you, and then learn to tell it to freeze. So in today's world, when we feel this negative energy, knowing that we have the power to freeze that negativity and turn it into some way us sending out positivity. So now relaxing completely into your Shavasana, we will remain in silence until you hear my voice again. When it feels good, maybe making larger movements, just bending your elbows or your knees, knowing there is no rush to move. Eventually making your way to laying on your right side, Using your upper arm as a pillow, curl into a ball. And taking a moment here to fill your heart with gratitude. Gratitude towards yourself for taking the time today to care for yourself, physically and mentally. And when you feel ready, you can make your way to any comfortable seated position and then closing the eyes. I invite you to bring your hearts, to bring your hands in front of your heart in prayer position. We will end today's practice with one beautiful Om. Inhale for Om. Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. May all beings everywhere be happy and free. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Peace, peace, peace. Namaste. Thank you all for joining me today, and I hope that you continue to spread positivity and love into this world. Thank you.